For the second shape matching activity, I want you to be focused on shape as area, and go back to the Sharpie video that we did when we did negative space and look at what I'm talking about there, how to use the tool in a physical sense. Obviously you're not going to see what I'm doing here on Photoshop. What we want to do is we're going to have two drawings. They both get 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper with the Sharpie. This first one, you're just going to match these shapes, and you're going to try and get the general placement of them in relationship to each other. What we want to do, and remember, look at the Sharpie video, is we want to create the shape as we go. So like if I'm drawing this shape here, I don't want to work perimeter first, which would look something like this. Looks like a little manta ray or something like that. We don't want to do that and then color it in. What we want to try and do is get the shape, thinking about it, area first, coloring in from the inside out. This will force us to see it as area, as shape. That's the approach we want to take. Now it's a little bit difficult for me with the tool I've got here drawing on the computer, but you have, remember with the Sharpies you have like this wedge tip where you can get like triangles. You could go in and build up rectangles like this. So that's the way I want you to approach this. That's the first one of the two drawings. The second two is basically the drawing that I made using all of these shapes, which is this image of Marv from Sin City. I want you to approach this in the same way. I don't want you to go around Marv. Let me go ahead. I'll actually switch. I'll draw right on top of this. This might make more sense. What I don't want you to do is like create this perimeter first and then go back and fill it in. This perimeter, if I just outline it, is a really super complicated shape. And so if I try and do this first, I'm really likely to get it wrong. It's just a very difficult task. What you should be trying to see is that there's a lot of simpler shapes, and you just drew them all in isolation because I blew this drawing apart, and all those shapes you were just drawing over here are the shapes that were used to make this drawing. So how you should be seeing this is like, there's a line. Remember, thinking in perimeter, here's a triangle. Here's a triangle. I can just make like a rectangle there. A rectangle here. A triangle here. This you could do like as a line, little bent rectangle there, big rectangle here, triangle here. This you could see like as one big shape. This could be one big simple shape. I'm doing perimeter now just so you can see it, but you shouldn't be working in perimeter. I just want you to see these things in isolation. Alright, so if I break these into a set of simpler shapes that all one just gets put on top of the other, then I'm taking the complex problem of that edge and I'm simplifying it to much simpler shapes. Part of the point of this is for you to see that if you're looking at a face, you're like, oh my god, it's a face, I suck at drawing faces, like I don't know. But any of these shapes, and that's the point of the first one that you're doing, if you see them just as shapes and you don't have context for what it is, anyone can draw that shape. Anyone can draw that shape. They're not difficult shapes. Anyone can do, especially with the Sharpie where I could just get a bigger mark and just go like that. Anyone can make that shape. Anyone can make this shape. It's just a matter of plugging them together. And remember, photorealism is just a matter of right shape in right place. Flat screen stuff. And that's what this assignment is geared towards. Can you see shape as area? can you break down a more complicated image into a series of easier to manage perceptions, shapes.